Hi, good morning. Today I will be doing a quick review over Chapter 1, Scaffolding Language and Learning by Pauline Gibbons. The first thing I want to talk that Gibbons talks about and that I want to bring up is zone of proximal development. It refers to the distance or the cognitive gap between what a child can do unaided and what the child can do jointly and in coordination with a more skilled expert. Um, Gibbons talks about two examples, one being when parents are teaching their children how to either eat or put on clothes by themselves. He talks about this multi-layer process of assisting them throughout the process, and gradually the child is capable of completing the task independently. And he also talks about the example of helping a student complete a puzzle and assisting them throughout the process. I've seen this particularly work effectively in the classroom in many of the classrooms that I've taught in. Having the opportunity to assist a child through a particular task, whether that be math um, or English or any subject at all, students eventually are able to accomplish the task independently. Um, but I think at many times that we as educators kind of throw these ELD students into the classroom without assisting, and I think that can be particularly harmful to our ELD students throughout this process. The next thing I want to talk about is high challenge, high support in the classroom. Studies have found that in high challenge, high support curriculum, equity gaps diminish, and all learners, regardless of background, achieve at higher levels. Gibbons talks about that rather than simplifying the tasks, we should instead reflect on the nature of the scaffolding that is being provided for learners to carry out this task. I've seen this kind of approach, high challenge, high support classroom, particularly effective in many of the classrooms that I teach in in these minority communities, particularly in National City. To give you a brief example, I had a student that I knew was going to have difficulty in high challenge of reading aloud in the classroom. And rather than skip the student knowing that they were going to have difficulty reading aloud, I chose the student, but not only did the classroom assisted the student in accomplishing the particular reading. And I think as we continue to use this approach throughout the weeks, we were able to see an improvement in the students' reading capability. So I think we can't shy away, we can't water down, we can't dumb down the curriculum for our ELD students. We must continue to challenge them, but at the same time, support them as much as possible throughout the process. And when you have an environment that is caring, that is loving, these students will not be afraid to participate and ask questions throughout this process. Next is language learning is not a simple linear process. I think a lot of us as educators think it is, but the more we are educated on this particular topic, we understand a little bit more about it. It is not simply a matter of getting the basic grammar correct, but knowing the most appropriate language to use in a particular context. I struggled with this as a child. My English was pretty good when used outside in the community, but as I got into the academic setting, I found myself to struggle. And I've seen through teaching in multiple districts that other students, besides ELD students, struggle with use of academic language in different subjects. And so I think scaffolding is huge in helping our ELD students use academic language. I've actually Gibbons talks about, and I've used this form of scaffolding as well when students have to write a particular paper, giving them introductory sentences or transition words or phrases to help them and assist them in writing this paper or just accomplishing a task in general. And lastly, I think we must challenge our ELD students, but most importantly, support them to a high degree throughout the process. I've seen this particular approach help students to a drastic degree. I think if we as educators can understand this and can apply it to our classrooms, I think we're giving our students, our ELD students, an opportunity to not only succeed academically, but in their future endeavors as well. Thank you guys for your time. Looking forward to seeing you next class. Thank you.